This
Manoj, you are
conference will now be recorded.
sorry,
Sorry,
I
can you
didn't
say
get
that
you.
again?
You are transferring the stock from DC to store, correct?
Hmm.
Okay. So from DC to store, when you do the transfer, from DC you are transferring a pre-pack article, okay?
Hmm.
And you want the components to be updated in the store. Is that the one? What's
No,
your
your voice was breaking. I couldn't get the last statement.
so what's your requirement and what is it happening? Just explain me that.
Okay, so what is happening is we have that pre-pack which has two components in it, right? So whenever
Okay.
I move the pre-pack from the DC to store, so in the inventory, the entire pre-pack level inventory is going down in DC and increasing in store as expected. But for each component, the number is not reducing at the DC level and neither it is increasing at the store level.
No, it will not increase, right? That's the concept. Because you are inverting the stock at the as a pre-packed into DC, and you are not updating the component into DC, right?
I didn't
What
get
is
that.
it?
I didn't
No, you can
understand that.
open your system. You share your screen. I mean, or let me share my screen. Wait. You can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
So this is our pre-pack article, right?
Yeah.
11 is
11.
pre-pack. In DC, which is B, right, or A?
B.
B is distribution center. So in this sentence, we have set it as not to explode. So the inventory will always be stored at the header level. So it is a separate article and the inventory will be updated in that header article level. I mean, pre-pack is equal to a separate article, component is equal to a separate article numbers, right? So inventory of the DC will always be at the pre-pack article level. It will not be at the component at all. So that is why when you transfer the stock from DC to store, the inventory at the pre-pack level will get depreciated and it will increase as a component at the store level.
Okay.
When you look at the inventory for the pre-pack article in the store, it will be zero. You understood?
Yeah, I got it. Can we quickly check the inventory?
Yeah, sure. 30, right?
30, yes.
What are the other articles?
No, 27001 and 004.
So 30, you will have stock at DC level, but at the store level, it will be always 0, 0. Okay. And when you see at the store level, only the components will be there.
No, the DC also has.
No,
Okay,
this
that is individual. Okay.
That's an individual item. So now if you see this article, there is a stock in transit of 5. So let's see what is that.
Yeah, I just created it for this doubt session, so I have to invert it at the store anyways.
MB5T. Okay. Okay, stock is 5. So this is the PO. $106. This is the one I believe you inverted. You are trying to invert it, right?
Yeah.
Now you are trying to move this pre-pack article from DC to store, and when you invert it, the inventory will be updated as into the stores in the component level. Done. Okay. Now the stock is updated at the DC means this level, individual component level. Clear?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, then. Okay, so you don't have any more doubts. So shall we continue, or if you have any more doubts, you can ask me.
No, I'm good.
Okay, today we will see about the release strategy. So what is this release strategy? So when you raise purchase orders and you wanted to have a control on your procurement, what you do? So in that sense, like you wanted to limit every procurement, like you wanted to have a control over the procurement. That's the objective. So whenever you see that, if if there is a requirement of procurement over an amount or something like that, you wanted to undergo a release process so that it gets a proper approval, and that's when it is released for the procurement, so that the purchase order is sent to the PO, vendor, and thereafter you authorize the procurement. So in that sense, how do you achieve that process? So this release process can be set at the document level, not at the document item level. So you have to understand that. So whenever you create a purchase order, as the purchase order, the release conditions can be set. So you cannot set it for each individual line item in the purchase order. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the release process for a purchase order is at the document level, but for purchase requisition, you can control at the line item level, because you create purchase requisitions for each item and you can release it. But whereas for a purchase order, it is always at the header level. Okay. So you can have purchase conditions like if the purchase order value crosses this much of amount, or for this particular purchasing department, and if it goes amount over a value of this much amount, the release process should be triggered. So you can have certain permutations and combinations in order to trigger the release process. Okay, so that's what we are going to see. So a release procedure will actually control, that's what we were talking about. So whether it needs for an approval or an approval process needs to be triggered or kick in, that will be dependent based on the release procedures that you are setting up. Okay. So when you talk about the release procedure, it has a release strategy, a release conditions or a prerequisite criteria, and release points or codes at how many levels it should be released, and all those stuff, and release prerequisites, as I said, what will actually kick in this release process, and release indicators. what when I say release status or indicators, it says that whether the purchase order is released or it is under process or under approval or it is not started. So that is what it means, different status of the release strategy. So when we say about, when we talk about the release procedure, okay, now I create a purchase order. Now, if this release procedure, when you have configured a release procedure in the system will go through that release procedure and see which purchase orders have to be released by whom and when. These are the conditions that the release procedure will undergo. So which POs will get that satisfied and undergo release process is like, if the PO will be selected by order characteristic and values and release or forwarding in accordance with the release codes and prerequisites. First, who should release, second, who should release, and if who is the final authority, who once he has approved it, the entire release procedure, I mean the release process is succeeded. So that is what it is called as prerequisites. And when I say prerequisite, this is what all purchase order with a value of greater than so X USD. And first, yeah, there can be certain different conditions which you can lay in so that the release procedure can be gone through. So when I say a prerequisite, first what do we need to do? Whatever conditions that you need to satisfy, you have to create that as a characteristic. Say for instance, for a combination of the purchasing organization and an order value, a release process should trigger. Then you should create a purchase organization as a characteristic and release, a order value as a characteristic, and you group that as a release class. Okay, and that release class is nothing but the release strategy class, and that's how you proceed. So here, if you see the communication strategy, you can use any of these values in this. For these catalog values, you can create conditions or a prerequisite. Say like whenever a purchase order is created against this site or using this item category or value this much, or if it is using this merchandise category. So on a combination of these values, you can create prerequisites. So you whatever, yeah.
How can we define for merchandise category or item category? Those are specific line items in the purchase order, right?
Yeah, this is for this dictionary is for both purchase requisitions and purchase orders.
Okay.
So for purchase orders, your question is right. So we cannot have it at the, what do you say, item level. So cannot use that. Only order values, purchase organizations, right? Those things you will be able to use it. That is why here but the dictionary or for the release class, the field catalog is common for both purchase requisitions and purchase orders. So that's why it contains everything.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's better when we see it in the system directly. So when I say customizing the release procedure, first we will see definition of release code. So when I say release code, what does that mean? Whether first a manager should release, a merchandiser should release, then the merchandising department manager should release, then vice president should release. Only these three people release, the entire release will be success. In that sense, merchandiser is a release code, department manager is a release code, and BP is a release code. That's what it is called. And definition of release indicators: who should release first, second who should release, third who should release. So the third person, that is senior VP, the vice president, has released, it means the entire release process is successful. So that's why first A1 and A1, if it is not released, the order is not released. If A2, in order for A2 to get released, A1 should have released first, right? So if A2 is released, then only the entire process is released. Meaning, first is merchandiser. In our case, it will be three dimensions: A1, A2, A3, A1, A2, A3. So first, A1 should release for A2 to get released. For A3, A1 also should release, A2 also should release. Only then A3 can release. So the one month A3 is released, the process will be released. You understand? So yeah. I'll use it in the system. It's easy for you to understand. So that is what it says. So you can control with authorizations. That purchase order will go to that particular release department only. It will not go to the different departments cannot release the other purchase orders. So with the authorization object, you can control. Okay. So this is what, when I say purchase requisitions at item level, it will be, okay. You can control whether it is that is particularly that item is okay or not. On item level you can release. Okay, whereas for purchase orders it will be always at the header level. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I will go to the system directly. It's better. Go to material management. Let me know if you see any strategy, something like that. Release procedure for
Okay.
purchase orders. Similarly, for purchase requisitions, you have here
Release procedure.
release procedure.
Yeah. Purchase requisition is nothing but asking for a quotation, right?
No, after quotation, you will create a purchase requisition. Quotation is what you send it to different vendors asking what is the price.
Okay. So okay, RFQ, right?
After that, RFQ will be converted to a purchase requisitions. But purchase requisition is not a legal document. Purchase order is a legal document.
Okay.
Okay. Now, first is we need to create characteristics. Okay. So what we will define as okay. So release strategy, what level we will do for purchasing organization? What is our purchasing organization?
ZK01.
When the order value is greater than $1,000. Okay, I should kick in this release process, and this release process will have 3 levels of approvals. First is merchandiser, senior merchandiser. Okay, then head of the department. Okay, then it will be VP. Okay. So it will have to go 3 levels of approval. So this is the first level of approval, second level approval, third level approval. Okay. So only if he approves, it is released. This is also not released.
Okay, and it has to go through 1, then 2, then 3. It cannot happen directly 3%.
That is the order.
Okay.
So if he wants to approve, he has to approve. If he wants to approve, he has to approve.
Okay.
Sorry. So I understand what are we trying to configure, right? So I'll do it. K underscore PR, and that is our characteristic. K underscore PR. K underscore value. Okay. Now I will create this. This characteristic. Multiple values is allowed. So you can have multiple purchasing organizations. Value is ZK01. Okay. Okay. Now save it. Similarly, k underscore value, right?
Yeah.
This is currency. Interval values allowed. USD. Okay. Greater than 1000. See, clear? So characteristic is created. Now we have to create a class. Okay, underscore E. This is our class. A underscore release. Okay. Class type is we have to select release strategy, which is 032. Okay, 32. Now click on create release. Okay. Now go to characteristic, give our what is this? Okay. Save it. So now we have created the release strategy. Now go to release procedure. Now group the release characteristics 0102. Delete this. So at the client level, you can have only one release group. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So now a new release strategy. Our release group
Is it always at the client level, or we can have for different purchase organizations?
no, client level. Release classes. What is our release class? Okay. Because only one release class can be active on the entire client level. So you have to clear. Now release codes. So how many release codes we are going to have?
3.
01, 02, 03. What is our release group? Sorry.
Release group.
Here. Code is 01, 02, 03. Okay. Now we have defined which group we are going to use. We have given the class, what are the different types of code, and release indicator. We will determine, okay, 2 means it is released, 1 means not released. Okay, that's the release indicator. Now release strategy. Now we will determine who should release after what. New entries. Release group is our KR, right? Release strategy. So here you can have for different purchasing organization, if you want, you can have that many release strategies. Okay. So now there's only one. Okay. I'll put KR. So release code is first is 01 will release, 02, then 03, right? Now release prerequisite. Now here is where we added one. First 01 should release. For 0 to release, 01 should have released. For 03 to release, 01 and 02 should have released. Clear? Only then it is considered as released. You understand? For 01, there is no prerequisite. But for 02, 01 should have released. Only then 02 can release. For 03 to release, 01 also should release, 02 also should release. Only then 03 can release. Okay.
But then there is no point in having the options on that top end of the matrix, right? Otherwise it would be just an
Because
endless.
for certain groups, if you think that directly only one can release and keep that, even if one is released, completely released, that you will set it here. See here, when no one is released, it says nothing is released. If 01 is released, you will say not released, it is changeable. 02 is released, it's also not released. But when all the three approve, it is released. In certain case, you did not require all the three to be approved, right? Even if one is approved, it is fine. So at that time, you will just have only one, and you will keep this as a released. So the remaining two will not be required at all.
Okay.
So it is just you need to play around it. So based on the business requirement, that's it. Now here is where you are defining the characteristic. What is our this purchasing organization? When it goes with this entry, release strategy should trigger. Okay.
Mhm.
So let's simulate this. Okay, first when I say release ID, it is not releasable. Okay, first I'm going to release. Okay, now also it is not released. Now 2 I'm going to set release. Now also not released. 3 I'm going to set. Now it is released. Meaning the simulation is successful. So now we
Okay.
can go to purchase order and see how to session. Give me 21 it's chronal, right?
Mhm.
PO quantity. Let's put that DC. How many? How much amount is coming? 100 USD, right? So now if you see there is no purchase order release strategy tab at all. Okay, now if I put this and save it, oh, it is greater than 1000 only it will trigger. Okay, now if you see 107, okay, now release strategy is not, how was it kicked in? What is the gross amount?
1000, no?
Greater than 1000 only it should kick in, right? I think gross amount is coming about 1000, 10,000.
There is no taxes, nothing defined.
Release strategy one for release group one is inconsistent. That release group itself is not there. It's not going. So input greater than greater than 1000 only it should take. Why it's not taking? It should have ideally it shouldn't have triggered. But this is 1000 only, right? Not 10,000.
Yeah. Why is it purchasing organization one is showing in red?
No, that doesn't matter.
Okay.
Both will show in that.
Yeah.
Not sure why this is showing. Let's do one thing. This is 107. M05. I'll put instead of 100, 99 I'll put, okay? 71.
Vendor is right. Yeah. Vendor was wrong.
Okay. Now if you look at this, it's 990. This is 108. This also really started this triggering. So meaning the scenario itself is not untimed. Okay, let's correct this. We'll delete this. Please go and reconfigure. we will remove this value. Okay. I have allowed interval values allowed, right? Okay. Now we are going to release procedure. Release code. Scale our classes. Release codes. We should delete these things first. Okay. Now everything is deleted. So if I go to release strategies, there will be nothing. Correct. So release code, if I watch, there will be nothing. Now we can provide inventories. A1. Save. Back. Release codes. Inventories. Group is K1. K1. 10. 20. 30. Save it. Release indicator is correct. 2 is released. Group is K1. Only release. Some released. This is setting 0. Why is it not picking? Okay, now I understand. Right. Purchasing. Purchase order. Release strategy. For criminal purchasing organization and value. Okay, release strategy is not configured correctly. What is the mistake we are making? For everything it is kicking in. And the condition is not getting satisfied correctly.
Okay. Is it something like even if one of the conditions gets satisfied, it kicks in?
No, no, no. We are giving an unconditional only, right? So release strategy classification. If you see both this should get satisfied, then for everything it is kicking in, which is wrong. Ah, I understand now the issue.
What
Oh,
happened?
fuck. My bad. Sorry. I understand. I got the issue. Wait, I'll fix it. I'll tell you what. We'll do this. We'll delete again. I'll tell you. My bad. Sorry. Well, that is why we have to go it in sequence. See, the thing is like, forget about this. So let's come from the beginning. So edit characteristic. Okay. You go and first let's change this purchasing organization. We come here value, right? We should delete this first. Save it. Okay. Now we will come here. What happened is we have given this, but I need to know this this field. This is referencing to this value, right? This one. I should refer this one, purchasing organization. So I should reference this field, correct? But we didn't reference at all. So what we need to do is go back, edit characteristic, change additional data. Let's do one. Let's create a new value, new characteristic. PR1. Okay. Create. Vector 12 values of traditional data. Here, this is where we have to reference our actually that this table purchase order gets saved in the EKO table. Okay,
Okay.
EKPO and EKKY will wait. And SC16 slash and SC11 EKPO. Okay, this is the purchase order header. So let's do this. So what is our purchasing document, purchasing organization value?
ZK01.
No. EKYG field name. Okay, now you press enter. Now it will reference to the save. Similarly, value 1, create, currency format, USD, number of characteristic 12, double values amount, additional data, and what is this value in net price value? What is that? Let's check here. What is the net price value here? Just check this function. Whenever you sign purchase order value, just let me know. Stop it. PO value.
I saw some currency key. Was that?
Sorry, we should take this from EKPO table.
Order price unit. No, that's unit.
NETWR. NETWR, right? Okay. So now save this. Come back. Now you go to release procedure.
But you did not enter the 1000 value.
No, that we can enter it here. That's not a problem.
Okay.
The thing is, like, we were not at all referencing the PO fields. That is why it was for whatever the thing is, like the release strategy was kicking in. Now you change it, it will not work. K1, right? K1 or KRV?
K1.
KRH. Okay. Now, see, it is very simple, but actually it's a bit tricky when you configure it for a bigger things and all. Oh God. I think we should delete. We did deleted, right? I didn't configure that. How come? I did release code, but release codes I did now only, right? Release indicators, that's fine. Release strategy. It should be 10, 20, 30, correct? Status, that's fine. Cancellation. How much is the value? 100. Okay, 110. Oh, then also the release strategy is getting triggered. Something here am I missing? I think now the description is not coming correct. We should delete this and reconfigure. constraints exist that could infer anything outside. Interesting. Where are the area missing? The release strategy itself, now the descriptions are not coming, and 10, 20, 30 is coming, right? We have configured 11, 12, 13. We configure 11, 12, 13, but here it is coming as 10. Release group is K1, K1, but we have configured Z1. Somewhere or other, old release group is getting triggered. You understand the difference? Resources are also deleted. Strategy is also deleted. Okay, let's do now. Now the release strategy didn't trigger. Now it is fresh. Okay. So now we will start. Release purpose input level 1. Okay. What is the group?
Y1.
Code what is input? 99. 90. $92, correct?
Hmm.
Somewhere or other, when you give this K1 is getting triggered, yeah. That old one. Where we have deleted and finished everything, but still that K1 is getting triggered. From where it is getting triggered? We deleted everything and we have configured Y1, but still that K1 is getting triggered.
We don't have a table for these release strategies.
We do have. No, you have to. The thing is very simple. It's very obvious. The wrong release strategy is getting triggered
Hmm.
because that was an obsolete one which we deleted from the database itself. But still, it is getting triggered with K1. Wait, let me find the release strategy table. See, this is the that is getting automatically.
What is S1 now?
Already strategy. See, this is not getting deleted. Which one of ours is correct?
Y1 is the latest. Y1. Yeah.
See, first problem in SAP is like you will not have one single table, direct table relation. You will have clustered of tables related. We cannot always say that the moment we delete in one table the entries doesn't mean that everything is clear. It's always a strange one. Once this is fixed, it should be okay. Okay, still it is still limited. I can see from where it is getting one moment. It's taking a lot of time. First, this is determining it's hitting 4 hits. That is why it's picking. Okay. Then what we should do is like we should try to change the characteristic itself. Ah, bro, big mistake here. We did
What did we do?
understand that. We should change this, right? We didn't do that at all. Did we do that? No, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because in P org and P value one only, everything is there.
Yeah.
That is the problem.
But that also we deleted and created new, no?
But in the class, we didn't assign the correct characteristics.
Okay. Vendor is wrong.
Yeah, correct. We did that. We did corrected that, but we didn't change that. That's the problem. Now it should work definitely. 115.
Wow. There are more tables which has these.
Wait, let's do one thing. Instead of doing this, we will create a new class. This is correct, right? K underscore value 1. This is what.
Yeah, this is correct.
KL, correct. So this will put 20, 23.
KL, no?
21, 22 are what is that?
21.
K underscore value on do not intervals. That's not correct. Right. Date entries are not getting updated. One after other, there is an issue.
Sorry, what is the issue?
Lock entries. It didn't get released from the database table. Says KSS release 1. This class is locked. Correct only, right?
What did you enter?
Caps lock or something. It's clear. Now if you see from that was not updated. That's the problem. Okay. So now we have used a different release class. Okay. At least now it should not have any problem. Now correct class is getting triggered, right?
Yeah,
K1,
but it should not get
K1.
triggered, no?
No, at least the release class now everything is getting triggered.
Hmm.
So now what is the problem? Everything is correctly determined. Okay, Krunal, I'll do one thing. I'll just see it in the offline and figure it out. What is the issue,
Yeah.
rather than keeping you
Okay.
wait. Tomorrow morning we'll see.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Before that, I'll try to fix this.
All right. No problem.
Okay. Then see you tomorrow. Like tomorrow, what time you're okay?
Tomorrow, are you free at 1 IST? Or I'm just booked at 11 to 12 IST. Otherwise, I'm free.
1 and the sense it's 9, 10, 11, 12, 30, 9:30, right? Yeah, 9:30 should be okay for me. Your time it's 1 IST.
Yeah.
Should be
1 p.m. Okay.
yeah. Thank you. I'll
All right.
figure
Thank
this
you.
out. Okay.
Yeah. Sure. Thank you. Bye.